Welcome to Ask the DNR right here on WCMU Public Television. Tonight we ask your outdoor questions to our panel of DNR experts, and that is coming up right away. Hey, welcome back to Ask the DNR. You know, we've been doing this show, I don't know, Bob Schneider did it, probably started almost 45 years ago when he was the CEO here, and been doing this for a long time. And it's your chance to ask questions of folks that know what they're talking about in the Department of Natural Resources, know the rules and regulations, and a chance to get them to expound on some of those too. We have taking on the phone line right here, the phone number should be at the bottom of your screen. We have Anastasia Birdsall is here, Steiner Birdsall, and she's from the DNR office in Cadillac. And Dave Hopp is also here, and Dave will be taking your phone calls. And Dave does a number of public outreach things for the Department of Natural Resources. Old friend of ours, both of them, and we're really glad that they're here. Sorry, my wife couldn't be here tonight, but I think we'll still have plenty of questions before the night's over. And joining us, of course, is Chad Stewart, the man of the hour, our deer biologist, actually a big game specialist, but deer biologist right now especially. And of course, we got Mark Tonello, who's our fisheries biologist, you're kind of the patron saint of the whole outfit, really. You've been here the longest.
Patron saint.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been called that before.
Well, he's the old man of the outfit. And we sure appreciate everything, Mark. Fish biologist out of Cadillac. And then Joe Molnar, who works out of Traverse City and Cadillac, is the district law lieutenant up here. And I've worked with all you guys many times, and I'm grateful as heck that you're here tonight, especially when there'll be so many really interesting questions coming up. But before we do anything, Mark, tell us the walleye take in the Muskegon River, because all the walleyes that are planted out in the lower peninsula emanate from the Muskegon River, right?
That is correct, yes. So we just finished today. I got the report just before I came here today. Today went well. So 4 days we took eggs on the Muskegon River at Pine Street at the boat launch there, and it went really well. There were a lot of walleye. This was one of the better walleye runs that any of us can remember. The biggest one we saw was just a hair under 15 pounds.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And and I also got word, if you're interested in steelhead fishing, I got word that today, more than any other day of the egg take, a bunch of steelhead have showed up up near Croton Dam on the Muskegon. So walleye
We're still
egg take,
dealing with high water.
Oh yeah, very high water. Yeah, if you're wading, you're gonna definitely not want to get too far from the bank. Of course, the boats don't mind the high water. But yeah, a lot of fish in there now. So
the runs, you think were so spectacular because of the high water? I mean, you obviously need the fish, but
yeah. No, I personally, I don't think there's any shortage of steelhead in Lake Michigan right now. We've had some really good year classes the last couple of years, some really good survival, and I think we're getting even before this high water, we were getting a really, really good steelhead run this spring. We did not have a good run last fall, and so I think we're getting a lot of the fish that we would have gotten last fall if it hadn't been.
They'll hold over and come.
Yes, yep.
Okay.
So, and steelhead egg take at the Little Manistee Weir is scheduled to start next Tuesday.
Okay, and we had a question come in too about commercial forest lands. Folks that own land, they get a tax break if they put them into the Commercial Forest Act, but they have to allow public access for just hunting and fishing and trapping, right?
Correct. The question was whether or not folks could go and mushroom hunt on commercial forest land. And again, as Bob said, that people can hunt, fish, and trap on those commercial forest lands. Any other type of activity done on those lands would need to be done with permission from the landowner.
Okay. why? Okay, this comes from Acosta County. Where will all the steelhead and brown trout you go on the west side of the state? It seem to be smaller in size and numbers. You found that to be true?
Steelhead smaller. So I would say that, yeah, there's not a lot of 10-pound plus steelhead out there right now. There are a lot of steelhead. Again, if you're steelhead fishing this spring, I'm hearing no complaints from any of the guides or really anybody. So I don't think anybody would argue that there's not many steelhead out there. There aren't a lot of fish over 10 pounds. But again, I think that's just because they're younger fish. And brown trout, the brown trout fishery, if he's talking about Lake Michigan, that fishery really hasn't gotten going yet because the weather has been so horrible. And typically to get the Lake Michigan brown trout fishery fired up, you got to get that water temp into the 40s. And we keep getting close, and then it gets a cold snap and it goes back down again. So we're close, and I think we're going to have a good brown trout fishery this year, but it's going to be April and May as opposed to, in some years you can do it in March. So.
Okay, Chad, the killing of deer on the east side of the state due to disease, I know the Feds had a program at one point in time. I'm not up to date on any of that. What percentage of the deer that they wind up shooting have bovine tuberculosis?
So the numbers from our bovine tuberculosis surveillance last year in 452, it's about 1.5%. That's for the entire 452 area. I can't speak to exactly what's being removed by the shooters, but
okay.
Those numbers go into the numbers that are submitted by the hunter, so it's actually a bigger sample size when you factor in what the shooters are taking, what the hunters are taking, landowners are taking. It's about 1.5%. We are also seeing in sort of those perimeter counties around that 452 area, I think it's about 0.3, 0.4%. It's very low numbers, but that's what we need. We need to keep it low. If we stop doing this type of management, bovine tuberculosis will continue to establish itself in the deer herd, which it already is, but it'll continue to pose a threat to our cattle industry.
You're just trying to keep it from exploding.
Exactly, and I think we've done a really good job of keeping it fairly contained into that 4-county, Alpena, Alcona, Oscoda, Montmorency County. We are starting to see there's 2 cattle herds, I believe, in Presqu'île that recently popped positive,
right,
as well as one in Charlevoix, which is on the other side of the state. So we still have to be very vigilant. I know it's not popular. I know it's not something that's a favor for a lot of people, but this is a really important thing for our state, both for the deer resource and our agricultural producers.
Okay, from Charlevoix, how about an update on the grayling stocking program?
Yeah, good question. So put a lot of grayling in the water last year, working with partners. It was several of the Native American tribes that actually oversaw the grayling as they were stocked. Have not had a lot of good results so far. Have not heard, we know they hatched out in the streams. The reports were that they saw them for a week or two and haven't seen much or heard much since. So it's not something we're going to give up on. We're going to keep working on it. We appreciate all the help of our partners that we've gotten, and there will be more going in the water this year.
And Joe, a good question for you and Mark. Did it pass the ability to run as many lines as you want for salmon and trout?
So the answer to that is no. So this comes down to an actual statutory change that the legislature is looking at. So the number of lines that we can use is set by the legislature. Currently it's listed as 3. The commission could technically bring it down to 2, but that's the only allowance that the department actually has to change how many lines one can use. So anything that we would see with increasing the number of lines would have to come through an actual law.
Yeah, and I'll just add that there is, some of the legislators are working on bills that would expand the number of lines you can fish, in the Great Lakes. And it's something that we've supported, but again, we have to wait for the legislature to work through the process.
Okay, and Joe, I have to tell people, course, you know, Joe Molnar from Cadillac, he's the lieutenant. We've introduced him, but I have to ask you, folks want to know everywhere I go, how's your dad doing?
Dad's doing great. Still active within the community and multiple nonprofits. So no, he's doing well.
Township supervisor, the
Township
whole
supervisor,
business. Yeah,
yep.
Dean.
Yep.
And Dean was here for how many years did he do this show? Probably 20-some anyway.
So, yeah, something like that.
20, and here you are. So really appreciate it. And the elephant in the room, or the deer in the room, I guess, what we need to talk to Chad about. Is it true the DNR is going to a $1 rule this year? And if so, why? Well, that has been in Lansing. I hear you have herds of people testifying that $1 is the only way to go. It'll make their deer season spread out the buck. And others saying, are you kidding me? It takes people out of the field and they don't get a chance to hunt as much. And yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, we're 10 minutes in. I figured this would be, this is 10 minutes later than I thought I was going to be answering this question. So we had a Natural Resources Commission meeting yesterday. Down in Lansing, it's where we proposed our regulations for the upcoming deer season. There was a $1 recommendation in that package to the Natural Resources Commission. The caveat is that it would be a delayed implementation for 2027. So as it's written in the current order, it would not go into effect in 2026, but it would go into effect in 2027. Now, this is where the commission part is, and you have to know a little bit about it, which, Bob, you do.
Yeah.
One commissioner did bring an amendment forward to our written order that would allow the $1 rule to begin this fall. So ultimately, we don't know where it's going to land, if it will land anywhere at all.
Or if it lands anywhere, right?
Exactly. So this is all subject to a Natural Resources Commission vote. That decision will be made at the May meeting. It'll be in Gaylord, and they are accepting feedback and input, whether you support or oppose that recommendation through that time.
And also, too, if you're going to testify to the Natural Resources Commission, folks, just a little tip. Use a little science in here because it's not supposed to be a popularity contest. Try to gear whatever response you have towards the science. So anyway, just to offer that. Folks from Millington want to know if they'll still be offering a senior discount for licenses in the next few years. I just bought my licenses and I got a senior discount.
I have not heard anything otherwise.
I haven't heard any changes to that, and again, that would be statutory.
The legislature has to do that.
But so one thing that there was some confusion this year, great opportunity to bring it up, is in our spring turkey guide.
Yeah.
There was two misprints I'd really like to draw attention to. The first was the fact that there was no senior discount listed, so the seniors were listed at full price, which we did hear some feedback right away, but there still is a senior discount for that. And then secondly, our 234 hunt, our extended later season hunt, they had the dates misprinted on it. The accurate dates print out on your license properly, and that is from May 2nd through the 31st. So just a reminder, even if you looked at a guide, we did try to get guides corrected, and we do have the right information online. But again, that 234 hunt is May 2nd through the 31st.
Printed right on your license.
Printed right on your license.
Right smack on your license. Okay, well that's good to know. Okay, let's go back to this one, Joe. So, from social media, lands enrolled in a DNR commercial forest program are open to the public for fishing and hunting, but not mushroom hunting. You don't have to be open for that.
Correct. The Commercial Forest
trapping.
Act land, the way it's written in statute is that they're open for hunting, fishing, and trapping. Again, when we're talking about hunting, we're talking about hunting wildlife. It's not for, again, the other recreational purposes.
And then, and folks, if you want to gripe about this and complain that DNR doesn't open for that, that's not the DNR. That's your legislature that handles that. That's statutory.
And the other thing I'll add about that is you could still go to the landowner and ask their permission to mushroom hunt or pick berries or anything like that. So it's not 100% you can't. It's just you can't without permission of the landowner.
Folks from Beulah want to know, the fish bass project on the Boardman, what will it mean for fishermen?
Not entirely sure yet. There's still some things to be worked out, but hopefully at some point, there's been no fish passage whatsoever at Union Street Dam for a long, long time, other than there was a fish ladder when Sabin Dam was still in, so that did let steelhead and salmon get up just to Sabin Dam, just a mile above Boardman Lake. But fish pass will allow species like walleye and northern pike that you historically would have traveled back and forth between Boardman Lake and Grand Traverse Bay. Hopefully, we will start seeing that again with fish pass, and what we won't be able to have is sea lamprey getting above fish pass.
That's the big deal.
Or species like common carp, other exotic species that, nuisance species, those won't be getting above fish pass. And they're working on a bunch of different technology there. It's kind of a research and development program. They're hoping to learn a lot of things at that facility that they can then transfer to many other facilities around the country.
So all eyes are on the Boardman Dam.
Correct.
Yep, fish passage. Okay, from Saginaw, this is kind of an interesting, we ought to call this, in the quiz show, they call this a toss-up. So anybody who wants to work in on this one, wind generators. Is there a fine for them if they happen to kill an eagle? Joe, you got any idea? Kind of an interesting question. I don't know why everybody's asking it. But.
So I'm not aware of anything that would hold the company who has those wind generators liable for any damages to that. I've never seen any statute that would cover that or order.
Chad, here's one for you. Big Rapids. Folks want to know they've got up to 20 deer hanging around one cherry tree. Any ideas on what could be causing that?
There's still a couple of old cherries probably on the ground that are probably tasting pretty sweet right now. Deer in a lot of cases are still bunched up a lot, especially up north. They haven't broken up yet from their winter range. So if they're hanging around that area at this time of year, there's only one reason for it.
That's exactly.
Fill their stomach. There's something there to eat.
There's something there to chew on.
Yes, exactly.
Something to chew on. And from Sheboygan, when purchasing hunting fishing licenses every year, is it true the money goes to the DNR? For the most part, yeah. Yeah, there's some administrative fees, but that's what you folks that go buy a hunting and fishing license, it pays salaries, it pays for COs to be able to get out and buy gas and do for everything.
And fish food. One of the big things, and I'll let maybe Mark finish on this one, but the cost to feed our fish in our hatcheries has gone up astronomically over these last couple of years. So as you like seeing programs, whether it be wildlife openings on our state land, or again, the fish that we stock, that all these monies, we haven't had an increase in well over a decade. So we're being funded by a funding model based on a decade-old system. So, without some type of increase to our revenue base, we may unfortunately have to look at a diminished amount of projects that we're working on.
When I often have to correct people because sometimes people will see us working and say, hey, glad to see my tax dollars at work. And that's where I'll have to correct and say, actually, sir or ma'am, it's not your tax dollars at work, it's your license dollars. Because we, at least in Fisheries Division, we don't get a lot of general fund money from the state of Michigan. We are funded by fishing license sales and by Dingle Johnson funds from fishing equipment.
You know what I always wanted to do is if I could put one ballot proposal on, if Bob Garner could have his ballot proposal on the ballot, it would be to make the state spend 1 cent of all the tax dollars on agricultural and natural resources. We would be able to fund everything for 1 cent of tax dollars. And I don't see anybody ready to take that mantle up, but I think it'd be a heck of a thing to do.
You should run for the legislature.
No thanks. No thanks. Worked there a long time. Okay, East Jordan. How's whitefish planning going?
Whitefish stocking.
Yeah.
Remains to be seen. You know, the elephant in the room on that one is it's really the food chain, or we believe, at least at this point, that it's the food chain that is the problem for lake whitefish, not any, you know,
Yeah,
reproductive.
people don't think of that,
Yeah,
do they?
yeah. So, you know, we're going to try everything we can to, you know, to fight for that whitefish population. But you know, the food chain is the big issue. So that stocking program is very young. It's only been going a couple years, and you know, it's going to take some years before we know if that's at all
Whitefish
successful.
develop slower, faster?
Yes. Yeah, they're a slower.
Slow growing? Okay, yeah, I really don't know much about them. Livingston County, folks want to know, fishing Hardy Pond. Do I have to follow the regulations for lure weight since it's a pond?
Yeah, there's no gear restrictions for. I'm guessing what the question is about is how on some of our salmon and steelhead streams we have a hook size restriction, and there's a 1 ounce weight restriction in some instances. No, you don't. That does not apply on Hardy Pond. Good question.
Okay, wildlife question, analog question. Is it legal to live trap and relocate ground squirrels?
The answer to that is no. I mean, we shouldn't be transporting wildlife from one location to another. You know, there are times with rehabilitators where they can relocate animals generally within the county that they came from when they release them back to the wild. But if you're trapping a nuisance wildlife for you, move it to somewhere else, you're A, moving your headache to someone else's maybe backyard, but B, the greater potential is that you've potentially moved some type of disease or other problem that the animal might have to another area.
Yeah, I would just add that the best way to deal with some is exclusion, right? I mean, if they're getting into something, you've got to come up with ways to try to keep them out. Sometimes it might involve, you know, bringing an expert in. Like, I mean, there's several nuisance cooperators out there that can provide some valuable guidance on how to, you know.
Keep them out of whatever mischief they're getting into?
Exactly, yes.
Okay. Standard Rock, one of my favorite places in this entire state of Michigan. You know why?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Lake Trout. Have you ever been there? You guys ever been there?
I will get there. It's on my bucket list, but no, I haven't.
Well, let me know when
yet.
you're going, because and I'm in for whatever my share is. Standard Rock is the place where you can go cast the lake trout and catch them in shallow water. You catch them in deep water, but you catch them in 10, 12, 20 feet of water and cast to them, and they're up to 40 some pounds. It's an incredible place to catch lake trout. Okay, Standard Rock. It's this. The folks from Kingsley want to know why they changed the limit to 2.
Yeah, well, it's because it's becoming more popular, and it's a finite resource. I mean, it's one reef out in the middle of Lake Superior, so we really want to protect that resource. And you know, it's such a value. There are plenty of other places you can go to limit out on lake trout. You know, those are wild,
Sure.
naturally reproduced lake trout, and we're still allowing some harvest, but that we've deemed that it needs to be protected a little more stringently than in the past.
And it has both the leans and the fats out there too. Yeah, Mark's aware of that, but the lake trout, what is it, races of them, or is it a...
Yeah, different genetic morphotypes, yes. Yep.
Yeah, where you can get just great, big, huge, almost sloppy lake trout, and then you get these red finned, and they're open them up, and they might be 20 pounds, honest to Pete. It might be 20 pounds, but they look like a brook trout on the inside. They're just, and they taste like a brook trout on the inside. Incredible stuff. I don't know where these people are talking about. It says, why can't you wade below Green Cottage access point? You have any idea what they're talking about?
That Green Cottage is on, they're probably referring to the flies only of the Pere Marquette River. And why can't you wade below the
Been told he can't.
Well, so all I would say is that there is quite a bit of private land down below Green Cottage. and so you would have to follow, you know, you wouldn't be able to trespass on private property if you were able to stay in the water and, you know, keep your feet wet. You could leave the river to go around a deep hole or obstacle, but you got to get right back in the river. So I don't think it's that you can't wade below Green Cottage. It's just that it's difficult because of the fact that it's a lot of private land. The PM Rod and Gun Club is down there. There are other access points where you can get on the Flies Only of the PM and wade it. So, yeah, you know, that's hey, we have to respect private
I
property.
had no idea what they were talking
Yeah.
about. So it didn't say Paramount. No, there was no
Well,
other
it's
information with it.
you know, one of the best reaches for salmon and steelhead fishing on the planet.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not surprised that they want to fish it, but we have to respect private property.
Fly fished Chinook down there, and it's it's great stuff. Okay, Drummond Island, walleyes being planted by Drummond Island Sportsman's Club. There are nets all around. Is that legal?
Boy, that's getting out of my turf. I don't know what kind of nets.
They're commercial fishing nets? Or?
Yeah, it certainly could be tribal. You know, tribal nets. I know that tribal fishing is done in that area. I don't know what they'd be targeting. So yeah, I really can't speak to that one. I would call Tim at the Gaylord office. He's a fish biologist in
Tim
Gaylord.
Swolinski?
Yeah, and he would definitely know.
Good guy.
Know how to answer that question better than I.
Okay. Hey, and let's go into moose.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, you know what? Back in, was it 85, 86, when we did the first moose lifts, and I remember back that far, and we were doing moose lifts. We anticipated that at some point in time we might have a huntable number of moose in the Upper Peninsula. It doesn't look like that's going to happen, does it?
Well, we've got a research project trying to get at what's going on with our moose population, because they've certainly seemed to have plateaued. Now, the caveat there is we only survey them in what we call our core area. So they've not increased in our core area. But what we really want to try to find out is, are they at essentially a carrying capacity in that area and they're starting to distribute out a little bit more? That's, I think, a valid question, and we're starting to look into that by putting collars out on moose. So last year we started off, it was a fantastic project in conjunction with Northern Michigan University and the Keweenaw Bay Indian community. We put 20 collars out on moose, and they're GPS collars, so we can log in and see exactly where these moose are going. This year we put out almost 60 additional collars.
GPS collars?
GPS collars.
Really?
So we have nearly 80 moose that are collared in the west end of our core area of the UP. So as you get out by like Champion and areas like that, and it's going to yield some fantastic data. And we really try to highlight some of the work, because what we do is we even look at the calf survival. So of course we can't collar the calves right now, especially at this time of year, they're not born. And what we've learned from other states is that if you go in and try to collar the calves to try to understand what their survival is, moose tend to abandon their calves. So
They do.
We don't want to influence mortality on calves, certainly at all. But what we've taken advantage of is some technology. So we have drones go in once the moose start to exhibit a pattern of movement that's consistent with having a calf, and we'll have a drone flight go over, and we'll actually be able to zoom in and figure out that with thermal sensors and stuff, and pick out whether or not they have one calf, two calves, and then we'll be able to track those moose every couple weeks to make sure those calves are with them. So not only are we monitoring the collared moose, but we'll monitor their calves throughout the summer and into the fall as well.
And moose are different than elk. Moose tend to have twinning, right?
They can have twinning. It's a little bit more common. I mean, it's very similar. It's certainly not like a whitetail, right? I mean, where that's pretty much what you're going to get. Our twinning rates for moose are actually a little bit low, and that's one of the concerns that we have. So we have some concerning metrics in the core area in terms of our cow to calf ratios, in terms of our twinning rates. They're fairly low, so we want to make sure that these animals are actually surviving and growing, and if they aren't, maybe we can try to intervene and figure out what's going on. The other option is we've had really good survival over the first 20 animals that we collared last year, and we're starting to see some really interesting movement. So we had one cow take her, both calves from about the Champion area all the way up into the Keweenaw. So she traveled 60, 70 miles, hung out there for the summer, and then almost took the exact same path back for the
Coming
winter.
back.
Yep, yeah, with only one calf. The other calf stayed up there. So we're learning some really interesting things from this project.
Hey, and maybe the fall we'll know some more stuff on
We'll know a lot
moose,
more.
too.
We'll know a lot more.
Okay, for Manton, folks up at Manton, that's where my mother lives. What's the rules for wading in a lake in front of private property?
So similarly to being in a river, again, as long as you stay within the water itself, you can get out, again, swim, walk around, fish. Again, the landowner still has riparian ownership, similarly in a river where they actually own and control the bottomlands as far as placement of docks, buoys, rafts, that kind of stuff. But again, an individual can traverse around a lake, again, similarly as you can go out and, anchor at a sandbar.
Stay in the water. And if somebody gives you a hard time and you're legally in the water, let the conservation officer know that too, right?
Angler harassment.
Okay, have we had many of those cases in recent years?
We get a few complaints or calls every year about that. Many times it becomes like a he said, she said between the fisherman and then potentially the landowner. If you do, have a confrontation with a landowner, if you're able to video it, so that way we have some type of digital evidence.
Everybody's got a phone.
Yep. So that way we can make our best case to a prosecutor.
I remember 2 COs went out on one of those complaints and they had rocks thrown at them and everything else. And that person didn't like the result when they got to court. So, okay, we have that question. Trying to get in the U.S. Forest Service. It's being restructured at this point. Now, has really nothing to do directly with the Department of Natural Resources. But do you have any concerns about losing those research facilities? Anybody? I know you're not foresters.
I mean, just what I've read online, I mean, I'm sure there's valuable research being done that's probably going to suffer. I know just my own perspective with the Forest Service. When I first started in Cadillac, I had a number of fisheries counterparts that I worked with the Forest Service. And over the years, due to previous budget cuts, there's almost no one left in the Manistee National Forest that works on fish. And so that creates a hole. So the Forest Service is definitely a valuable partner for us, and we work very closely with them. And so, we don't really have a say in any of this. It's all
Right.
federal government stuff, but
Right.
we value them as a partner, and they certainly do some very good work.
Joe, what do you need to do to salvage a deer hit by a car?
So first and foremost, whoever hits the deer has first opportunity to claim that. The simplest, easiest way would be to contact the local central dispatch where you hit it. They can document the fact that you hit a deer and that you're going to take it. You likely also need a accident report, or you can actually do that salvage report right online from the DNR's website.
Okay, and you can get to that just by going to DNR Michigan.
Or very simply, whatever search engine you have, just put in Deer Salvage Permit Michigan, and usually one of the first links that'll come up is for the state's website.
Could you do that through the licensing app too?
Nope, does not work through the licensing app. It's from our actual website.
Okay, interesting. Can I access a trout stream from a country road? I'm curious about right-of-ways. This comes from Otsego County, one of your old counties up there.
So when we're talking about road right-of-ways, it's important to remember a landowner owns to the center of the roadway. A county road commission generally has a 33-foot working easement for maintenance of the roadway. That does not provide any additional rights or abilities of a person to access other things, whether it be a lake, river, in, I'll say, 98, 99% of the instances. Now, there are different instances when a county road system took eminent domain in the creation of their roadways, where they may have been given additional easements to access water bodies, but in most instances, an individual does not have the right to access the river on a bridge. Now again, there are statutory laws in place that do allow people to access water bodies at road endings. So the most typical time we see this is county roads or city roads that end directly into a
lake. Yeah.
The public has the right to launch their boats there. You can't place a dock or anything like that, but you can launch your boats. Rivers are a little bit different because, again, you don't have those additional rights of access to that river system.
And I want to add to that, Bob. Again, if you want to fish a trout stream and you don't have access, don't be afraid to knock on doors and ask for permission.
Sure.
And I feel like that's almost a lost art in our society today. It's something that, I've done, in the past, and, I feel like we don't do that as much. And I still think that a lot of people are willing to let conscientious anglers fish on their property as long as they're not littering, as long as they're not, killing all the fish or fishing illegally. So don't be afraid to knock on the door and ask permission. And I think most of the time you're going to like the answer you get.
And surprisingly, if you took probably a little girl with you, a little boy that was going to fish with you,
Yep.
you think maybe the answer might be just a little bit different. So anyway, that's the only responsible thing to any of us to do is take a kid with you anyway. So what the heck? Why don't we plant fish at night to avoid predators like birds?
Our hatcheries are stocking hundreds and hundreds of sites every year. It just would not be feasible. It's more dangerous to work at night. This question comes up all the time. It's been coming up for my entire career. And I will also add that the fish that we stock during the day, they survive very, very well, and we're all catching lots of them, lots of the steelhead that we stocked this spring, and those were all stocked during the day. So I know it looks bad. You might see some seagulls getting a few. The ones those seagulls are getting are probably the ones that got beat up, during the,
Right.
ride or whatever, and they weren't going to make it anyways. The healthy ones are getting away. They're surviving, and it's not something that's practical, and usually it's not something that affects the plant, even though it looks bad.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know about this at all, Charlotte. Every once in a while you get a question that you're really not sure where it really emanates from or what the event was that caused it. But it says September 2019, okay? DNR anchored a barge for the perch run. They dropped a gill net. What happened to those fish? Would you ever drop a barge and put a gill net out to survey?
We do use gill nets for surveying lakes. I don't know the incident that the person is talking about. Gill nets do kill fish. That does happen. And when that happens, we make sure the fish get utilized. We're not just throwing them away if they're any good. But that is part of science, and doing fishery surveys is sometimes you will kill a few fish. I can't speak to what this particular incident.
Yeah, you have no idea. And I know even less than you do. So
that's
anyway.
7 years ago now. So
exactly. This one comes from Gaylord Joe. It says, if I buy an ORV permit, can I drive my truck in hunting spots using ORV trails?
So the answer to that is likely going to be no. So our designated ORV trails are generally designed for ORVs that are 50 inches wide or less. So again, most likely your pickup truck is not going to fit on those trails because it doesn't meet those minimum requirements.
Well, let's go one step further. Also from Gaylord, probably the same person. Do I have to have an ORV permit to drive my pickup to a turkey hunting spots on 2 tracks?
No, if you're operating a legitimate 2-track, not something that's been illegally created, your Secretary of State plate allows you to operate on those 2 tracks and trails.
Question from Freeland. Will they rebuild the dam at Trout Lake? I don't know which dam they're talking about.
Yeah, again, that's not in my area.
Trout Lake in the UP or the?
No, it's a Trout Lake. I think it's in a state game area over in I think
There are
maybe
only probably 57 trout lakes in the state.
yeah. I think it's in Gladwin County. And so I don't know the exact story. I know that people get attached to impoundments, and the problem is that they become very, very expensive to maintain. And, Joe already talked about our budgetary issues. And, when you're talking hundreds of thousands or $1 million plus to fix a small dam that creates a small pond that, gets fished by a few people, that becomes a really tough decision when if you remove the dam, you restore the stream, and you take away the future financial burden as well. So again, I can't speak to, what they're doing in that particular situation. But it's the issue is much bigger than just Trout Lake.
Did I see like 2,500 dams?
Yeah, but the DNR owns hundreds of dams.
Right.
And so we have hundreds of Trout Lakes popping up all over the place where we're faced with these decisions on what do we do with this dam that is 60, 70, 80 years old. It's falling apart. We need to do something because it isn't safe anymore, or it isn't holding water
Everybody
anymore.
loves fishing here.
Yeah, so do we spend the money to fix it, knowing that probably, again, some years down the road, we're going to have to spend more money to fix it? Or do we just remove it and be done with it and return it to what Mother Nature had it as initially? So very interesting question.
It is a long term. If we want to spend billions on dams, we can do it.
Yeah, that is true.
But it's going to take billions to do it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Went out quad riding. It is a good question from Bay County too. And they come across a downed tree. Is it legal to cut it and move it?
So if you're looking to, restore your ability to drive down if it's an ORV trail, you are able to remove those obstacles. Again, if you're going to be collecting firewood, taking it home for personal use, the state does have firewood permits that we do issue. They're $20. They're good for 5 cord of wood, not face cord, but actual full cord. And if
it's a lot of wood.
Which is a lot of wood.
And
if you are in areas where we've had the ice damage over the past couple of years, some of those areas you can get up to 10 cord on those ones. But again, if you've got a log blocking a trail road that is you have legal access to, you can cut that tree to get it out of your way to be able to continue on state land.
Why do perch always run 3 to 5 inches in Higgins Lake? I don't seem to get any bigger.
So I wrote a report on Higgins Lake not too long ago, and it was funny because we have we have files on Higgins Lake that go back literally 100+ years of fisheries management on Higgins Lake. And guess what the questions they were asking 100+ years were? How come there's so many small perch in Higgins Lake? The answer is it has to do with the food and what they eat. And nowadays we have smelt, which are an exotic species
right.
that a lot of people like, but they were never initially in Higgins Lake. So it has to do with the food chain and just the fact that that's perch. Not all perch get to the sizes that we like. I will say that keep at it because Higgins Lake does have nice perch. You got to find them.
I caught nice perch.
I have too. You got to find them. They are there, but they're not always easy to find. But very good question.
Somebody from Roscommon writes in and said, Bob Hess passed away last week, former DNR biologist. We were just talking about him on the trip down. Bob Hess was a top-end biologist, but he was also, he loved everything about nature and wasn't afraid to let anybody know it. Yeah, can we say a few words about Bob Hess?
Well, he was a great conservationist.
Yes.
To me, that's the mark of, of someone that I really respect. I worked with Bob, he was a wildlife biologist, but I knew him from working on the Pine River, and he was part of the Pine River Association, and he would, bring issues to me related to the Pine River. So
Cadillac Land Conservancy.
yes,
yeah.
yep.
Many things
And
like that.
what a nice guy too. I mean,
Nice guy, and had a good friend with John Trimberger.
yep,
Which you can't say much more than that about a guy that's
Yep.
a great person. There's a snowmobile trail goes through my property. How can I stop that? Am I allowed to close it? It's in Manistee County.
Well, I guess I'm a little curious on what they mean by there's a snowmobile trail going through your property. So the DNR, we do lease properties we lease from landowners trail systems so that way we can connect. So I mean, if you are leasing land to the DNR for a snowmobile trail, then I would reach back out to the DNR, contact our Cadillac office, to ask to speak to Scott Slavin for our area, if you want to remove yourself from that. So if there's some type of illegal trail or something, and I think we maybe need a few more details, give me a call at the Cadillac office or the Traverse City office, and we'll try to work your question out a little bit deeper.
Okay. And we must have tickled somebody's fancy here, because they want to know, where is Standard Rock?
it's out in the middle of Lake Superior.
It is. It's about 48 miles if you leave out of Marquette. It's about 48 miles if you leave up at the Keweenaw. If you go over to, I one time went there, and I think it was down to 33 miles or so. We left from a little launch over near Big Bay.
Okay.
And Mark Martin and Gary, oh geez, I'm trying to think of Gary's
Roach?
name. Roach, yeah, Gary Roach. We took walleye boats and went to the lake looked good, and we took walleye boats out, and we made that run in about maybe 25 or 30 minutes. Otherwise, it's a 2-hour run. Now the weather changed a little bit coming back in, and we made that run in about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And beat us up like I've never been beaten up on a boat before.
Yeah, I don't think I'm taking my boat to Standard Rock.
So Standard Rock, yeah, you want to make sure the weather's good when you're going out there. And will anybody, do you think they'll restock Sanford Lake, or is it going to need it? Will the river system?
I believe that, once it gets refilled, yes, I believe the plan is to resume stocking. In the past, I know we were stocking walleye and muskellunge, so I would assume that's the plan. It's not my turf, but I'm pretty sure that's the plan.
You know, with all of the rotten weather we've had, at least with the ice, people from Montmorency, they're concerned about replanting on cut land. With stumpage fees, where's the money allocated? I don't get both ends of that question, but the money that comes from commercial cutting on state lands, that goes into the forestry fund. And what about, and now really forestry, the amount of money you make on forest land to cut on is available everywhere. Everybody's trying to get everything cut before it decays.
Yep. And so, I mean, here's another aspect of some of our funding concerns, right? So the trees that were damaged on our state-managed lands up in that area, those were trees that we were going to cut, in the next decades. And those monies go and fund other aspects, whether it be, so our forest fighting, our forest fire, or our fire officers who go and help put out wildland fires and do those kind of things. That's one of the predominant areas where they're funded through is from timber sales. So as we might see a shortfall in timber sales in our coming years because of these damaged trees, is just another aspect of the urgency to find a way to sustainably fund the DNR.
Exactly. Hey, give us a rundown on elk. You had a great elk season last year.
It was a good elk season. It was down a little bit from previous years, but most elk hunters are just happy to go out and hunt elk because it's such a rare phenomenon here in Michigan. Yeah, elk herd is roughly, our elk numbers are actually down. We just completed a survey. So it's about 800 or so. So it's down a little bit. It's actually,
But that's where you want it
it's
to be.
within our goal. It actually lines up very perfectly when you factor in the confidence intervals with the low end of our range and the high end of our range. So we're right at goal, which is a little bit different than where we've been, which is above goal. There will be fewer elk permits drawn this year to account for that. So we've got it to where we think it's more appropriate with the landscape. There will be fewer elk drawn. One change that was made at the commission last year is that the elk season, especially the first elk season, will look a little bit different. We used to have 3 4-day segments, which if you were drawn for that first segment, you'd go up and hunt for 4 days and go back to wherever else you lived in the state, and then you'd have to go back if you were unsuccessful. Now we've got a much longer period. It starts a little bit later in like mid-September and goes into early October. So we're avoiding that heat of August, which was classical of that first 4-day period.
Right.
A lot of people didn't like that or didn't participate in it at all. But now you've got a much more contiguous season that's up there. So you can go up there and really get after it with those elk. So it's designed to actually increase success rate. So if you are successful this year, you have a little bit more opportunity to be successful.
Okay. And Mark, let's get back to dams here. One from Sheboygan, and I got it. They're complaining. DNR owns the Sheboygan Dam, and it's facing critical damage, and the lake levels will fall and all that sort of. I get that, but wasn't there just a horrendous price tag on fixing it?
Well, no. So what they're talking about is right now the Sheboygan Dam is being threatened by the high water we're experiencing right now.
Oh, right at the moment.
Yes.
Okay.
Which again, welcome to dam ownership. Boy, you know that when times like this happen and you own a dam where it's threatened by high water, it makes you really think twice about, gee, do I really want to own a bunch of dams? Because we're faced with these kind of problems. So again, not my turf. I'm not directly involved, but I know that our crews were out sandbagging around the dam today. There's a pretty good chance it's not going to get to a problem level. It depends on how much rain we get next week is kind of what they're thinking. That's what I read online. So again, I'm not an expert on that, but I hope that they're able to overcome that and deal with that.
A friend of mine who worked for the transportation department as an engineer had a saying that always stuck with me the last 40, 50 years. Water always wins.
I would agree.
It's going to go where it wants to go. And so you better figure out how to direct it, harness it, to diminish its effect or whatever. But water always wins. I'm sorry about that if I made fun of the request, because they've had some other dams up there that Swalinski's getting his head caved in on because there's no money to really fix them. Okay, an 1862 barn on Fish and Wildlife land is on the demolition list. It was purchased with gunpowder money. Well, it was purchased with Fish and Game funds, apparently, this person thinks, from Pentwater. And it has to be used for hunting purposes. How can we contact somebody to save this building?
Not really knowing what property they're talking about. They said Fish and Wildlife, so does that mean it's a game area or possibly some federal lands? Again, I would reach out to the closest DNR office and try to, again, ask a few more questions so that way we can get you in touch with the right land administrator.
Here's the question we get every year with falling grouse numbers. Do you think they'll stop the December hunt or change the limits? No proposal on that yet.
No proposal on anything. You're right. I did talk with our upland biologist before coming on. Yeah, there is a decline. He's expecting a pretty similar year this year to last year. He did say, though, that with numbers dropping, you're going to have to look a little bit more, a little bit harder into the high-quality habitat areas to find your flushes.
Okay. Okay. And with all the forestry work happening and the replanting of red pine, I'm concerned about that we're going to have a monoculture. Well, you got to take that up with the foresters, and we don't have one here with us tonight. So,
Well, I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. So when we manage state land for forestry, every time that so there's a management plan for every chunk of state land, and all the different divisions get input. And Wildlife Division is prominent in discussions when it comes to managing trees on state land. And there's a lot of compromise.
oh yeah,
Yep.
right.
And there's a lot of compromise, and in some places, we
Right.
do raise a lot of red pine, but there are other places where we do a lot of clear cuts for aspen that will benefit game species.
Hey, we're just about out of time. We need a one-word answer from all of you. Okay, I want to get into conservation. What degree should I get?
Fish and wildlife science, that's what I got.
Fisheries degree.
I got a criminal justice.
You got a criminal justice, well, and you're all experts in your field. We want to thank you all for coming out and joining us. You guys are really fun. I really enjoy this, and it's a great public service. Only right here on public television you find a show like this. You don't find it on commercial TV. You have to come to public television to really get your questions answered. Thanks for joining us, folks.